I have to help my daughter and son-in-law pack up tonight. They're moving to Virginia. I was talking about this earlier. It's one of those moments in life. And then in November we'll have another grandbaby, and life is full of these things, right? You got new jobs, you got starting a company, maybe marriage, maybe divorce. How you deal with those has a lot to do with, well, your outlook. And I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. However, I happen to know a guy who deals with this on a daily basis and a psychological level. His name is Dr. John Braccio, drjohnb.com. On the web, Regional Psychological Services of East Lansing joins us now. Hey, Doc, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, Mike. And we're talking about transitions, okay? Mm-hmm. And transitions really, they're an important part of our life, like what your daughter's doing, okay, in terms of moving like that. They are those times in our lives that can be exhilarating, but can cause great emotional pain, resulting in anxiety and depression. You know, how we deal with them has a lot to do with the level of satisfaction and happiness we will have in our lives. Transitions would include, death of someone we love, job changes by choice or necessity, changing, job requirements within the job, divorce, marriage, parenting, buying and moving into a new home, the falling in love, financial stress, incarceration, moving to a new location, like your daughter. Some of these transitions are by choice, such as buying a house or taking a new job, but they can be stressful situations we need to learn to adapt. Situations like death of a loved one, being fired, needing to move to a new location, or divorce are transitions that can be exceptionally difficult and devastating to a person as they experience them. Now, regardless of whether the transition is sought or thrown upon us, the following ways to deal with natural transitions that we all encounter as we live our lives would include accepting the reality the transitions often occur in lives, okay? Recognize and accept they're occurring and adapt to them as well as possible. Have realistic expectations on what to expect. Develop a support system as needed. Keep yourself in good physical and mental health. Recognize good decisions made now will lead to a better outcome in the future of whatever transition you're experiencing. And never stop trying to move forward in life as best as possible. Now, important thing to remember is transitions will always occur in our life, regardless of what plans we make or do not, have them. They're just going to occur. Like the death of a loved one, being divorced, or being fired from a job, or things you really can't always plan for appropriately and can lead to great distress. Because these things occur, it's important a person think about how they're going to react to such possible transitions. And even if they become overwhelmed, realize they will survive. How well they survive will depend on their attitude and behaviors. Pretending they will not occur and not planning for them will lead to greater devastation for the transitions we have not sought, which can be so damaging psychologically. It also is true, transitions we desire, we really want, can have potential negative outcomes. Persons may be excited about taking a new job, but within it, may question their capabilities and really somehow even be focusing on really what they liked about their past job. Or a person who has always wanted to move to another city may enjoy living there, but then can feel lonely or lost and adapting to an unknown city loaded with unknown people and activities going on that really are the normal parts of that city. Now, something to remember is that transitions are difficult under the best of circumstances, and it's important to accept this. Try to have a plan to deal with them as they occur. I've given you some suggestions here, but try to see most transitions as opportunities for resolution rather than overwhelming problems is a good place to try to change your outlook on life transitions. So I think our message, Mike, basically is life transitions occur, okay? They can be exciting. They can be things we're looking forward to, but it doesn't matter. Even those can be really difficult. And then the really difficult ones that do occur, we just have to be aware that's part of life. And we have to roll with them, and we have to try to find strategies to overcome them, and that we then have to move forward and be as successful as we can be regardless what life throws at us. That's just kind of the road of life.
Yeah. Yeah. As my dad would say, man, you mentioned death. Where there was it's an extended family, all right. A death in the family. The lady was 89 years old, long life, just this last week. And now we have, a birth coming in November and all that. But my dad used to say this about death. 15 minutes after you're in the ground, the biggest question on everyone's mind is who brought the potato salad? That was his way of saying, don't get too high on your horse. You're not that big a deal. But, yeah, we have to take them with a grain of salt. Because, like you said, they're going to happen. And do you find in your practice, is that a thing where, it seems like a simple fix. You just tell somebody, which, by the way, I don't know how you do what you do, Doc, and I'm glad you do it, but I wouldn't have the patience. I'd just say, yeah, well, shape up. Or somebody would come in and tell me, I'm having this problem with this transition of a new job. Well, yeah, show up every day and do your best. Go home. Now, here's my bill. You know what I mean? But do you find that people have a hard time with these transitions in life? I mean, they're there. You can't do anything about them.
Obviously, everyone reacts differently. But, yeah, they really do. It's hard. Like even the situation of your daughter moving, I'm sure they're going to love this, but there's a lot of stress when you have to move, you're going a new place, meeting new people. All this can be exciting, but it can be difficult, or not quite finding your place in the new environment, or not particularly liking a job. There's so many things that can come up that even either people that let's say you're going to a new job and you're excited, and all of a sudden the person you were going to be working for, the team leader or whatever, moves, takes another job, and all of a sudden everything changes. Or within your own job, things all of a sudden, these are the new requirements. You have to have these skill sets. You have to do these things. So there's really a lot of things. And the death of a loved one, someone you really care for, these are things that they're just very hard to really deal with it. And if there's a divorce, when you really don't want a divorce, but even having children, okay, I mean, being married, falling in love, these can all be, and many of them can be very good, but they can be very stressful. How do you deal with this? You can't have a child and say, I don't think I want children, okay? I mean, you can be irresponsible, not be involved, but I mean, it utterly changes your life. It's like Caesar at the Rubicon. Once you cross that Rubicon, that river, that has occurred, and you then have to deal with that. So, yeah, I think people do have a lot of issues dealing with things. The falling out of love also is another thing in relationships. So life is loaded with transitions, things that come up. And my comment at the very end here about looking upon these transitions as opportunities for resolution rather than overwhelming problems is a good place to start, and be aware they're going to come. You can't just isolate yourself in life. You have to be ready for what occurs, and those that are ready and moving forward in life are going to be much happier than those that just get overwhelmed and say, I can't deal with this, I don't know what to do, I'm going to be unhappy, I know it won't work. And that will lead to unhappiness, yeah. There's
the mindset right away. Yeah, I mean, if you start off thinking, I know this isn't going to work, it's going to make me so unhappy, I just can't do this, yada, yada, yada. Boy, you kind of killed it right there, didn't you? Yeah. Set yourself up for failure.
You are. You're basically a self-fulfilling prophecy then. You're saying, this isn't going to work, I'm not going to like this, everything about it is bad. And if you do that, then yes, it will be bad. And there are some things in life, like if you're happily married or you think you are, and someone wants to divorce you or leave you, that's hard to turn that into a positive. But you do somehow have to say, well, I'll get by, I'll move forward, something will work here. But just be aware there are, and even the good transitions, like moving to a place you want to work, or moving to a place, just another part of the country, whatever it might be, whatever reason. You never quite know what you're going to encounter. So be aware, even when we're planning for the best of things, and we want to be positive, we want to really think, I've got the world on a string, I'm rolling. Just be aware there are things that can occur and probably will occur to some degree, and just how we deal with them determines how happy our life's going to be and how successful in many ways. It's how you look at things.
He's Dr. John Braccio. Every Tuesday you get these golden nuggets right here of wisdom. drjohnb.com on the web. Regional Psychological Services in East Lansing. Doc, we're up on time. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. See you. 719, 1320 WI.